Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Zita and I'm a boudoir and intimate portrait photographer. If you're into boudoir photography and you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Today we're talking about retouching. Some people love to spend hours in Photoshop, but I'm not one of them. So if you're anything like me and you would like to save yourself some time retouching, you came to the right place. Today we're going to talk about how to think about the retouching part already during the photo shoot. And the advice that I'm about to give you does not only apply to retouching, it will also help you create more variety. And you know that I'm all about variety. So let's get to it. First and foremost, I keep reading in different forums or groups for boudoir photographers about them getting these clients that after the photo shoot complain about how something looks and they want the photographers to retouch this and that. So if you want to avoid this, you need to make sure already in the communication with client prior to you maybe even taking the photos that you are not willing to do that kind of work. I, for example, when I take photos of somebody during the photo shoot, several times mention how I hate Photoshop, how I'm not good at it, and that I would rather throw away a picture than to retouch it. That way I set an expectation and the client knows not to come with an overly demanding request. And honestly, it is our work as professional photographers to know what we're doing and to achieve the best results possible from the beginning. Whether it is by using wardrobe or lighting or posing, we are the ones who hold the camera in our hands. We are the ones who can see what the pictures look. Because in the end, it's not the camera that adds pounds, it is the photographer. Let's start talking about makeup. Paying a professional makeup artist to do your client's hair and makeup is always a great idea. But if for whatever reason you cannot afford it or you don't have that possibility, you can still save yourself work with whatever you have at hand. And that is by noticing whatever it is that disturbs you in the photos. You can try and fix it on the spot, especially if there's things like running mascara or lipstick on somebody's teeth. Please fix it immediately, because you will hate your guts when you're in Photoshop trying to fix the same little thing in 50 photos. The one thing that you can have handy that can help you out a lot is transparent powder. If your subject starts sweating or glittering in the light, which creates these ugly highlights, then you can always apply a little bit of the transparent powder and save yourself some work. Although there's many ways of creating variety in boudoir photography by using different lighting, not all of them are all that retouching friendly. The best way to think about it is think flat and soft or no light at all, and I'm going to explain. So the flat light is when your subject is facing the light directly, whether that's a window right in front of them or any kind of other light source. The important part is that it is soft. That means that it's diffused, whether it is a sheer curtain on the window or a diffuser in front of your lighting. This direct soft light fills the imperfections on our skin and makes it look more even. This is perfect for softening wrinkles or acne scars. Let me show you how that works. So I have a lot of acne scars on my skin, but they're not as obvious when I'm facing the light as they are when I start moving away from it. And there, you can see my wrinkles start popping up and my acne scars. As much as I like the Rembrandt lighting, or I like to use shadows to create some depth in the pictures, it is a pain in the ass to retouch if somebody's skin is not perfect. So if you're using shadows in your work, you should at least try to soften them up by reflecting the light off some light surface, for example, using a reflector or a white wall. So either face the light, and the added bonus are beautiful catch lights in your subject's eyes, or turn away from the light, because whatever gets hidden in the shadows, you don't have to worry about in post-processing. Next, let's talk about how much you see depending on what you look through. A part of this is wardrobe, and the logic is fairly simple. The less skin you show, the less skin you have to retouch in post-processing. But it's boudoir, shouldn't you show more skin, you think? Well, depends on your style, and sometimes you just need to be a little smart about it. You can always go for clothes that are somewhat see-through, so they still cover a lot, but you can also still see the important stuff. Like for example, blouses or bathrobes. Another way to look at this is to think about whether or not you're shooting through something. So if you have something in your foreground that blurs what's behind it, whether it's something that you want to hide or you just want to create this beautiful dreamy effect. Light flare also creates similar effect, and I found that even shooting through glass, whether that is a window or shower glass, softens whatever is behind it, therefore less work. If you think that face is the part that requires most retouching, try to show less of it. You can, for example, hide half the face behind hair, or you can have your subject peek from behind something and hide them that way. And why not hide the face and take some anonymous photos? This can also be really helpful if you want to show your work online. There is this beautiful thing called shallow depth of field, so why not use it to our advantage? Whether you own a prime lens or another lens, just open it wide and make sure that the focus range is as small as possible, because this will save you work later. This is extremely useful if you're taking portraits or close-up pictures or details of, for example, lashes or lips, when everything else that is not in focus will just blur away. I really like these photos because they give you a feeling of closeness to the subject. You almost feel like you're breathing down their skin. Another way to use focus is intentionally blur parts of the images and imply that there's something going on that we're not supposed to see. Another thing that we can take into account is the distance to your subject. The further you get away from your subject, the more details you will lose. So make sure to take some photos from a little bit further out, if at all possible. The big one when it comes to retouching is posing. I don't like using the Liquify tool. I am not completely against it, and I will occasionally tuck away a little bit of double chin or a badly posed arm, but I generally do not want to change what my subjects or clients look like. So I really try to pose them right from the beginning. If you're not so sure about posing, try to take as many photos as possible, making just small changes in between the photos. That way, when you upload the photos to the computer, you can just choose one or two of the best images from the series. And you can also look back and see your mistakes and ask yourself, why is it that I picked these images and not the other ones? And lastly, you can always save yourself work editing by converting images into black and white. I don't know how about you, but sometimes I just can't get the white balance right. Or I'm struggling with yellow discolorations of the skin or magenta feet. And if I really lose patience, I just simply convert the images. And honestly, sometimes I feel like if I converted everything into black and white, life would be so much easier, don't you think? So to summarize this and to add on your shooting plan: a silhouette, a flat lighting portrait, details, wide angle shot, a photo when you shoot through something, a wide range of different poses. One little bonus could be taking a double exposure photo, but these photos get really old really fast, so having one or two in the series is really enough. And how about you? Do you have any tips or tricks that I haven't mentioned? Tell us below, like the video if you found it useful, and subscribe for more boudoir photography tips in the future. And I'll see you next time!